Well, in other news, we have the Biden spotlighting a fight to protect democracy during supposedly an upcoming speech. Now, we talked a little bit of this yesterday, kind of this idea of Joe Biden going after MAGA Republicans, calling them semi-fascist. And you had Juan Williams the other day on Fox News going at it with Karl Rove regarding statements that Biden made. And the statements that Biden made was going after conservatives and Republicans, which is obviously wrong. You shouldn't do that, especially when you just get done saying, hey, I'm here to unify the country. I'm here so we have kumbaya and we all get along. And then he pulls that stunt going after them. Well, here the stunt's not over yet because supposedly the White House says President Biden will head to Philadelphia on Thursday for a speech in which he will argue that, get this, that America's democracy remains under attack and highlight who is fighting to protect the nation's freedoms. Meaning, it's under attack by Republicans is what a lot of people are predicting he's going to go with, as well as that those that are protecting the freedoms are the Democrat Party. Let that sink in. That is crazy, folks. I mean, literally, we just got done talking about how the Democrat Party wanted to censor your speech based on something that existed, but they were telling you it didn't exist. I mean, they basically wanted to create a truth council. Do you remember that? And that kind of went out the window with, I think it was Alejandro Mayorkas, the DHS secretary, was going to initiate it. Basically be able to tell you what was disinformation and misinformation and be able to censor people. And they're like, oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. It was basically out of George Orwell's playbook there, 1984. It's so crazy to me that they actually think that Republicans are the ones that are attacking a democracy here. When you have the First Amendment under attack by the Democrats, then the House of Representatives that's controlled by the Democrats tries to ban, or did actually approve of it, the ban of certain semi-automatic weapons, which is an infringement on your Second Amendment right. I know that when we say certain things, they think it doesn't imply infringement, but infringement is exactly what they are doing. You don't have a right to infringe on my Second Amendment right. If I want to use an AR-15, I have the right to choose and use an AR-15. But what they're doing is they're chiseling away over time to the point where there's not going to be any semi-automatic weapons anymore. There's not going to be places that you can actually carry, which we're seeing right now. When there was that New York case about the conceal and carry that was passed by the Supreme Court, basically will allow you to conceal and carry without the permission of your locality or your county to issue a concealed carry license. What they're doing now to combat that, the Democrats, is they're virtually saying, well, you can't carry anywhere. This is a gun-free zone. So that's how they're combating the right to carry as well as the right for you to bear arms by just saying, well, you can't carry in all these places. So virtually it's going to get to the point where you can't carry anywhere. So it will get to the point where you don't have any semi-automatic weapons, handguns, shotguns. You're not going to be able to carry anywhere, and you're not going to be able to carry at all. Meaning you're not going to have a Second Amendment. And if you don't have a Second Amendment, then folks, you're not going to have a First Amendment either. And then all your other rights will just cripple, and it'll be a snowball effect after that. I mean, that's what I see the Democrats doing over the course of time. I don't see the Republicans doing that. I don't see the Republicans going after free speech. I see Republicans and conservatives like myself, as well as all of you, saying, hey, I don't agree with the Democrat Party and their platform and the things they push. I don't agree with the progressive left, but I think they have a right to say it. I think they have a right to do it. There was a lawmaker speaking kind of the Second Amendment and attaching it to progressive left, and I think they have a right. There was a drag show recently, and I promise we'll get back to this because it's everything to do with Biden's whole story here and the things that he's pushing. There's a drag queen. It's not a play. I don't know what you call it, performance. And it was for kids. And outside guarding it was Antifa with rifles. And lawmakers and some people were upset over it. I'm okay with that. Not the weapons in front of the kids. I mean, the idea of you doing it, I personally wouldn't do it. But I mean, they have a right to go out and carry if it was a gun-free zone. But that's what I mean, is I want their right to be able to say whatever they want. If they want to call people fascists, I don't agree with it, but they have a right to do it. If they want to go and utilize their Second Amendment rights in front of children, I don't agree with them in front of children. I don't really think you should do it, but they have a right to do it. So I don't see that same emphasis on taking care of other people's rights for them to utilize. I only see them trying to take care of and remove the rights of other people, meaning Republicans and conservatives, and let them keep the rights. Meaning the progressive left can say whatever they want, but the second a Republican or conservative says a man is a man on social media, you're banned, you're deplatformed, you're removed. The second that a Republican or conservative says the Hunter Biden laptop's a legit story, it's not Russian disinformation, you're banned and you're removed from social media. But remember, we're the ones that are attacking democracy, not the Democrats. Well, the speech is the crucial general election battleground state of Pennsylvania. This comes up all the time and comes less than 10 weeks ahead of the November midterm elections when the Democrats hope to hold on to their razor-thin majorities in the House of Representatives and the Senate. The address also comes as Biden has raised his rhetoric in recent days, targeting who he argues are anti-democratic MAGA Republicans who have embraced fascism. I almost said racism, fascism. These words just come off my tongue because that's another thing they call us, right? Is racist. When we're not racist, we want everybody to succeed in this country. We can only be so clear here on the Bald Brad Show, and I know all of you agree with me. We just want people to succeed. Follow the law, do the things necessary, don't hurt anybody, and just be successful in life, regardless of race, ethnicity, skin color, whatever it may be. Just make a series of good decisions, and you will make it in this country. The president will speak in Philadelphia's Independence National Historic Park, where the Declaration of Independence and the nation's Constitution were debated and signed. I mean, just a remarkable place to do this speech, right? Literally, this guy here, the guy that doesn't even know what he's signing half the time, the guy that literally is going after Republicans and conservatives, the guy that uses the FBI as a club but then says, I don't know anything about the Mar-a-Lago raid and all these things. Yeah, he's going to be speaking at this historic place here that actually represents our Constitution, while the Democrats in Congress, the House of Representatives, literally try to strip away your Second Amendment rights. I mean, the irony there, it's really nuts. Quote, he will speak about how the core values of this nation are standing in the world. Our democracy are at stake, the White House official confirmed to Fox News. He will talk about the progress we have made as a nation to protect our democracy, but how our rights and freedoms are still under attack. Yeah, you should continue that. Our rights and freedoms are under attack by the Democrat Party, not the Republican Party. Remember how they just shelled out thousands of millions of ballots in the mail during COVID? And again, people are getting like 5 at a time. I know I got 3 ballots. And so people were voting. Again, Dinesh D'Souza did a fabulous job in 2000 Mules tracking people. So there's definitely fraud going on. But again, we're the threat to democracy here. So it's all of us. It's not Antifa. It's not Black Lives Matter that literally are fascist and are Marxist. And that's not coming from me. That's literally coming from them themselves. The White House added that the president will make clear who is fighting for those rights, fighting for those freedoms, and fighting for our democracy. Last week, the comments that received plenty of pushback from Republicans, the president blasted a GOP that is still very much under the firm grip of former President Trump, Biden's predecessor in the White House. We love Trump because he actually stands up for our rights. And not just our rights too, but even other nations. Like, look what happened in the Middle East. You had a lot of peace going on at the time. Look what he was trying to negotiate in North Korea. You didn't have Russia invading Ukraine at the time. You didn't have a massive U.S. immigration problem. You didn't have massive inflation. You didn't have massive gas prices. I mean, if you just look at the litany of things that Biden did, he's trying to gaslight all of us on everything. And they do this with history, right? The revisionist history that we talked about the other day, the Howard Zinn stuff, where, oh, it was the Republicans that were the racist. It wasn't the Democrats. It was the South that was racist. Well, yeah, but who lived in the South? Oh, it was Democrats. It was the Democratic South that was racist. Oh, I got you. Well, who were the creators of the Ku Klux Klan? Oh, it was the Democrats. But then they say there's this whole big switch thing because they don't want to be the party that had sheer evil and plagued this country for so many years. Remember, it's the Republicans that are the party of freedom. It's the Republicans that freed the slave. It's the Republicans that were the civil rights people. So it's all these things, but they try to diminish those things because they weren't involved in it. Or at least if they were, there wasn't a good proportion of them. They don't want to talk about that stuff, folks. They just want to call us the racists, the semi-fascists, that we're destructing democracy and all these other things. So crazy. It goes on to say, what we are seeing now is either the beginning or death knell of the extreme MAGA philosophy. Biden told Democratic donors at a gathering in Maryland, it's not just Trump, he went on. It's the entire philosophy that underpins I'm going to say something. It's like semi-fascism. The guy's so dumb, he doesn't even see it himself. Like it's as if there's no mirrors in the White House. Like none at all. And at the ensuing Democratic National Committee rally that evening, the president charged the MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security, they're a threat to our very democracy. This is the guy that's supposed to bring hope. This is the guy that's supposed to bring us all together. This is the guy that's supposed to mend the social fabric that's been torn ever since Barack Obama's time, or even a little bit before as well. The Republican National Committee criticized the president's recent jabs at the GOP. Biden spit on neighbors against each other, labeled half Americans as fascists, and tarnished any idea of his promise of unity. Families are left with a recession, high gas prices, and the nation on the wrong track. I mean, this guy has just done a terrible job of running this country. And we see that from time and time again from Democrats, just running a terrible job. Look what Barack Obama did. I mean, Barack Obama, Thomas Sowell literally qualifies Barack Obama as the worst president in U.S. history, literally just because of his Iran nuclear deal, amongst other things, but primarily that. That's how bad that deal was. Joe Biden here wants to implement the same deal, if not make it worse. And he thinks it's a good deal. He thinks it's a fabulous deal. You going to believe that guy? That guy can't even order a meal right or negotiate a meal. You think he's going to negotiate with Iran that says death to America all the time, that burns our flag, that literally makes puppets of presidents and burns them in the streets like every month and has like a whole freaking party about it in the streets as if they just won the World War? The gaslighting here is just remarkable. From the Biden administration to his mouthpiece, Karine Jean-Pierre, the other day, literally saying that illegal immigrants were not walking across the border. She says it's not real. It's not a thing. It's not happening. And then went on to blame Trump for the immigration problem that we're having right now. Let that sink in. So he's saying MAGA Republicans are a problem, disregarding everything that he's done to tarnish this country and our foreign policy and domestic policy, gaslighting us on this front, going to gaslight us again Thursday, just after Karine Jean-Pierre gaslight us the other day regarding illegal immigration, COVID-19. And Democrats are still voting for this guy, by the way. Like we've talked about on the show, I don't know if anybody got to the tail end of the show the other day, but literally we are not having this red wave that we thought we were. That's why I just got done saying in the article here that we're actually really close. It's very slim margins here. We got to get out and vote, folks. This is some serious stuff. If we don't vote, we're going to have another 4 years of this. We're going to have another 4 years of them targeting conservatives. We're going to have another 4 years plus of them going after Republicans. If they're willing to go after Trump, you guys, they're willing to go after you. They just hired 87,000 IRS agents. It's now come out that some of those agents will be auditing middle-class income people. That's you and I. Maybe some of you are lower class, maybe some of you are higher class. They're going to come for you. It's going to happen. It might not happen next year or the following year, but there's going to be a time where they got to utilize those 87,000 agents. There's not that many billionaires. There's not that many millionaires to utilize all those people. Not everybody's taxes are wrong. So be on the lookout for that, folks. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.